Hey, what's up, you guys? So like I said in the last video, this video is going to be about how to use sidechain gating to enhance a snare drum. So in this instance, it's the same song, same thing as I've been using for the past two videos. And instead, what we did is I went to the Easy Drummer and actually muted the snare bottom mic. This way now it's just a snare top. Basically, it sounds fairly good, but I personally love snare bottom mics. I think it adds a nice little top end, adds a nice sustain to it. While the top has a, the snare top mic has a nice like ring or a nice like just attack. So if we solo this out, we can hear what I'm talking about. I mean, that sounds pretty good. You get the ring, you get the attack, and get a little bit of the snare rattle. But I really like a snare bottom mic because it's literally mostly just rattle. That way you can kind of blend in how much of that like top end rattle you want. So we're going to just get straight into it. If we just get rid of this, we can show you guys how we do it. So like in all the other ones, we go into our buses, we create a bus send, and since I have all my buses named, we're going to use Sidechain 3, set that to Unity and pre-fader, again, because that way you can mess with the fader and mess with the mutes and solos without ever actually affecting what's going on. Next, we have this. I used a mono track. You can use stereo if you want, but I used a mono aux track. I put a signal generator on it. I select white noise. You can select white or pink noise. And then I actually put a gate, which is being triggered by the key input of the Sidechain 3. So again, you go to bus, you select the Sidechain 3, and you hit this little key button. And once that's lit, then you know that you're actually listening to that key trigger. So if we actually bypass this, we can hear the white noise. So like I said, you can use white or pink noise. I prefer the white noise because it's mostly top end. And that way what we're getting is mostly a top end sound. So next what we're going to do is we're going to basically check out the settings that we have. So I have the gating all the way. It closes as far as it goes. I have the look ahead on. The ratio I leave alone. I set kind of like a medium long release. I would say medium long because normally I set pretty long releases on my gates because it sounds more natural to decay that way. The attack is fairly fast, but I do not have it all the way as fast as it goes because I found that just sounded unnatural. So I have it set to like 1 millisecond. That way it lets it kind of go through almost completely, but there is a tiny bit of a delay. So you do hear the thwack first and then the snare rattle. The hold I leave alone, the threshold I set to about -34, and that's about it. So what we can do is we can just listen to the song without it, and I'll have it muted, and then we'll play it back. And you can hopefully hear what's going on. So hopefully you can hear that. I think it's pretty audible. We have this tucked down kind of low in the mix, and we can even bring it down a tiny bit more because I feel it's just lasting a little bit too long. But what it's doing is it's adding a nice little texture to it where now it sounds like the rattle of the bottom part of the snare is just kind of being tucked in there. So a cool thing about that is now you have more texture to the snare. Now you have more of like a sustain and it sounds like a real snare more. And you can easily do a lot more things into this. You can go in here and you can easily EQ it. Let me look for like the stock EQ. I have a lot of plugins that I own. Okay, so we could easily just go in here. We can tailor the sound of the actual rattle. So if we want to listen to this, check this out. This is what it actually sounds like just by itself. So it's pretty cool. I mean, in solo, it sounds like it's a little bit too much, but in the context of the mix is where it really matters. And it doesn't sound like you're really doing much of a crazy effect to it. So again, with and then without it. So cool. This is a really quick and really easy thing to do. It's pretty simple. And if anything, it's a great way of just doing little enhancements. And now again, you can easily do EQing and harmonic excitement. Personally, I love using Isotope's Alloy 2 for this. Because you have an EQ, you have an exciter, and you can do all this crazy stuff to it. But personally, you know, it sounds fine the way it is. If anything, I can just tuck this down a little more. I brought it up a little louder than I normally do so you could hear it. But yeah, hope this was interesting. Hope you guys like this. Let me know if you want me to do anything else like this. My next video is probably going to be doing something talking about a plugin that I recently acquired that I really like. So yeah, let me know, and I'll see you guys later.